To reconvene into our meeting, and it looks like we are starting with a presentation.
We're starting with taking positive steps to service award.
Okay.
And through music, through music. So Mr. Pink was nominated for a taking positive steps to service award.
Did you know that?
Kind of.
I think you did. Okay. So, a parent of students in the Lodi Band program nominated Mr. Hafter, Doug, for this award because of his thoughtful gesture in reaching out to let them know how proud he was of their children's dedication in preparing for solo and ensemble. They noted that while Mr. Hafe is already incredibly dedicated to the program, the extra step of personally acknowledging students' efforts to their families meant a great deal. Let's be honest, everyone appreciates when their hard work is noticed. For Mr. Haft to take the time to recognize some of our busiest students when he had no obligation to do so speaks volumes. It's no surprise a parent took notice. Thank you, Doug, for all you do to support our students and families. Your kindness and commitment makes LHS a better place for everyone. Mr. Haft.
So Mr. Hafe brought some friends.
I guess so.
I'm going to let him introduce that and go from there.
Yeah, so we were asked to play at tonight's meeting and to maybe start us off with some music. So we brought our woodwind ensemble from the wind ensemble at the high school. We have two bands, a concert band and a wind ensemble. So this is our upper level group. They're one of our 3 or 4 larger groups that we took to district solo and ensemble at the end of February. And all our groups did very well, including these guys. And these guys qualified for state solo and ensemble. And that will be held. State solo and ensemble will be held at UW Whitewater on April 26th. So we're sort of rebooting our performance and honing in on that performance that comes up in a couple of weeks. So we appreciate you having us here tonight, and we'll show you what we've been working on. This is a piece called Scherzo by Vaibhav Makhanti.
Can you guys go down the line and say your name and what grade you guys are in?
I'm Catherine Hall, I'm in 11th grade.
I'm Marley Riddell, I'm in 10th grade.
I'm Emma Naden, and I'm a senior.
Addie Bell, and I'm a senior.
Tessa Bergman, I'm a senior.
Catherine Zychak, I'm a senior.
Aaron Smith, I'm a freshman.
I'm Sophia Himes, I'm a junior. Natalie Dieter, junior.
Charlotte Liu, I'm a junior.
Jillian Weiler, I'm a freshman.
I'm Michaela Dockwell, I'm a junior.
I'm Mika Lemire, I'm a sophomore. Caleb Rotzel, I'm a senior.
Mara Ross, I'm a freshman.
Sophia Andrews, I'm a junior.
Nathan Robbins, I'm a sophomore.
That was excellent, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for getting us new uniforms. We really like them, we really appreciate it.
Mr. Hayes,
Thank you, guys.
you remember your band concert? The questions you asked your band? EP, sports.
Oh, yeah.
You asked them, because you have a lot of,
Yeah, this is
future
true.
band students here, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good thing for them to hear.
Yeah, so we did a big collective concert recently where we had all our 6th through 12th grade band students all in the gym all together. And so that was almost 300 students all on the gym floor together with all their parents and everybody filling the bleachers. So it was a really packed house concert, which was great. And one of the couple of things that I talked with the high schoolers about and we talked with the middle schoolers about and showed them, because sometimes there's questions about like band and what you can do and can't do, and sometimes people say some things that maybe aren't always totally true, and so we wanted to clear the air on some of those things by pointing out that you can do band and all the other things that you want to do, right? So raise your hand if you're in band and choir. Right, so you can do both of those, right? We don't have the full wind ensemble here, but raise your hand if you play football. Raise your hand if you play basketball. Raise your hand if you do mock trial. Raise your hand if you do forensics. Raise your hand if you're involved in the musical. What else? Raise your hand if you're a cheerleader. What else? Track. Right? There's all kinds of people, right? All kinds of sports, all kinds of other activities. Raise your hand if you're in an AP class. Yeah, right, so while it definitely takes some dedication and some time, like you definitely can do all the things, and we try to be super flexible so that you can do all the things. And everyone gets that opportunity come 6th grade to try out instruments and to give it a go, and hopefully we see you at the high school down the road too.
Thank you. So Mr. Hayes, I have a certificate for you. Thank you so much. And this is a pay raise, a grant. And we will deliver $100,000 to each of you in the near future. All right. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we have a few more taking positive steps for service award.
So the next one, I have somebody here, Dennis Crow, come on up. And I'm on the LACE board, he's representing LACE tonight, on behalf of the board. And just so everybody knows, I'm gonna read a little bit about LACE, we know what it is. The Lodi Area Community Endowment is a charitable fund established in 2009 by 7 local citizens with the goal of preserving and enhancing the cultural, educational, and environmental legacy of the Lodi area. LAIF serves as a permanent endowment providing financial support for educational and civic projects in the Lodi area. It operates under the umbrella of the Madison Community Foundation, which some of you have probably heard of, which manages its assets and provides administrative support. Since 2012, more than $40,000 in grants have been awarded directly to our district schools and our groups associated with our schools. To name a few, our most recent upgrades to our weight room, the new stadium turf project, and endeavors such as Patchwork Enterprise. Dennis is here to represent LACE, the LACE board, to accept not only a Taking Positive Steps of Service award, but also, with the help of Mr. Breinig, I nominated LACE for the Wisconsin Association of School District Administrators, or WASDA, for the Bert Grover Child Advocacy Award in February. And I'm excited to say that LACE, because they have significantly committed themselves to children in our community with their financial support, has earned this award as well. So congratulations to LACE.
Do you want to say anything? And we're going to take a picture.
Are all the board members going to get?
How many do you get? How many board members?
We don't
I have
need-
3 for you.
We don't need too many.
There you go.
No, I just.
Lace will turn that into 5.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. No, I just wanted to, at least say thank you, obviously, to the nomination, first off, and then also, one of our huge missions and goals of LACE is to provide, or again, Lodi Area Community Endowment Fund is to provide awareness of what the fund does. Oftentimes, it might get lost amongst the community, and we provide funding for a wide range of things here in the community. One of the main things about the fund is that it has to go back to help those within the district. And so it's one of those things, if anybody ever makes a donation, most or all of those funds always stay here endowed forever. And so it's a pretty cool thing. And again, thank you very much. And yeah.
We're going to take your picture in front of the nice Blue Devil sign.
Yes, please and thank you.
Whichever one you guys want to do first. We have a couple more.
Bill and Patty and Amy and Gus, you want to be honorary member? Okay, Letha, you can too. All right. It's up to you if you want to. You don't have to. So, I nominated the Ice Age Trail Alliance, but really Luke Cloberdance, Amy Laura, Bill Welch, Petty, as well, and the rest of the chapter. Luke, Amy, and Bill in the chapter have done so much behind the scenes in regards to the Ice Age Trail campus designation and our ongoing partnership with the Ice Age Trail Alliance. They view the district and our students as valuable assets in the work of promoting, educating, accessing, and maintaining the Ice Age Trail. They often share opportunities with us and seek our input when it comes to what students can or should experience. They have so much knowledge and they freely share it with our staff and students. The collaboration with them, the Lodi chapter, and the Ice Age Trail Alliance is an integral part of our students' overall educational experience. So thank you, Luke, Amy, Bill, and the chapter for all you do. It is recognized and appreciated, and so are each of you. Thank you for being guardians of Lodi Pride.
Do you guys have anything else up for that?
There you go. And there's your. Yeah, for sure you should. Anything you guys want to say?
Yeah, what would you like to say? Anything?
Well, I was reminded when the band did their hand raising thing, when we have a group of students, we ask them, how many of you have been on the trail? And just about everybody raises their hand. And we ask, how many of you have worked on the trail? And about 2/3 of them raise their hand. How many of you have been on the Ice Age Trail? That does not happen anywhere else in Wisconsin. It's remarkable.
I'll just, on behalf of the Alliance staff, I want to thank Bill and Patty and the chapter for all of their hard work. As volunteers, You guys really make the difference because you're the ones here in the community, engaging the schools, engaging the teachers, and really, making it happen. And those of you, the kids, I appreciate your willingness to be good stewards, to engage with us, to be excited on what we're sharing with you. It's awesome, and it's a really, really cool partnership, and it's not everywhere else. So we're really proud that Lodi is a trail community and a trail campus. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. While they're taking a picture, we will do the last two.
All right. So Mr. Schuneman and myself nominated Mrs. Sue Chambers and Mrs. Katie Greer. Sue and Katie are deserving recipients of the Taking Positive Steps for Service Award, exemplifying outstanding dedication to supporting striving learners. As reading specialists, they have worked tirelessly to create a nurturing, growth-focused environment for students who face challenges in their learning. Their expertise and commitment have been invaluable in guiding students toward improved literacy outcomes, ensuring that each individual receives the personalized attention they need to succeed. Through their approaches, they've been able to foster a love of reading while helping students build the skills necessary for academic achievement. Beyond this, they have also been instrumental in supporting their colleagues. They go above and beyond by providing teachers with resources, strategies, and encouragement to enhance their classroom instruction. They were the first to learn of Act 20 and played a pivotal role in assisting all of us in being able to implement the requirements. Their proactive approach to understanding this new legislation and its implications has been invaluable to all of the staff, and especially They are key figures in planning and hosting the school's book fairs, further promoting literacy in the community and making books accessible to all our students. Their unwavering commitment is fostering both student success and teacher development, makes them exceptional leaders. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Go reading, no. It's a lot easier to do our job when we have the support of very supportive admin and this district that, believes in the same things that we do. So, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Here you go. Here's your Act 20 bump raise. There you go. Congratulations. Yeah, so we have a presentation. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Shinneman.
Yeah, and Mr. McNeil and Mrs. Castro. I think we have a presentation. Mo, did you get the?
Yeah, it should be in there.
Okay, thank you. So we promised the students they didn't have to talk. But we do have some members of our Math 24 team here. And our goal tonight is to give you a little bit of a taste of what they do. And I will tell you, this is one example of just what staff do in Lodi. We talk about, hey, we're going to get Math 24 going again. And not only do they do that, but then they promote it, they give up a bit of their time, they volunteer to be coaches when we really don't have a title, but they just do it. So I'm very thankful to Mr. McNeil and Mrs. Castro for all their work that they have been doing, not just for this team, but also just promoting Math 24 and this opportunity in general. So, presentation. Yeah.
Almost there.
Almost there, it's coming? Perfect. Anything you guys wanted to share before we jump into the presentation?
I thought we did get titles.
I mean, you have big titles.
So Math 24 has been going on for a while in Lodi, and then as some things go, that things change, and then we brought it back 2 years ago. This is our second year, and I remember going up with Mrs. Castro, and we had a great group of kids, and 2 years in a row now of having kids excited about math. They gave up recesses when the weather was really nice too, so it wasn't just the bad weather. Gave up recesses to practice. But just seeing them thrilled about trying to solve math problems and get excited about math is so exciting.
Are we ready to present?
I think so. Alright. Got it?
This is
Oh,
because of the access we have, this is
Oh,
the
I'm
best we
sorry.
can do.
Well, I can reshare too, but we go look at it later. So Math 24, if you didn't know, it is a fun, fast-paced number game. So you can scroll up, Mr. Potter, thank you. And so board, you might want to pay attention because here's our goal.
I'm
right?
nervous, I'm nervous.
We are going to have the team kind of play some Math 24 with you. Yep, so we're going to need some room. It's an exciting card game. You guys want to give maybe the faster version than this? Or is there...
So, fourth grade plays with single digits. So on the card is 4 numbers. You can only use the number 1 time in a combination of any adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. You don't have to use all the operations, but you can use any combination of those to come up with the number 24. Fifth grades is a little bit different for their numbers,
Yeah, we have double digit.
but same concept.
Yep.
Use the numbers 1 time in a combination to equal the number 24.
So you're gonna use the single digits on us?
I don't know if it's good.
Depends on who you get to play against. So one player will flip over the card, right? And then we'll see kind of what happens from there. If you keep going down, Mr. Potter, maybe keep even going to the end. The last 2 slides, then we'll come back up. This is a little bit about our team to put some fear into you a little bit.
We don't have enough already.
We had 4 students place. The team did great, but we did have 4 students play, and then they also got to go enjoy some Culvers afterwards, right?
And last year we got kind of started a little late with Math 24, and so we got up there and we were playing against teams that had been practicing since September, and it showed. So we started earlier this year. And you can see, like, to have 4 place winners is really remarkable because we're going against 7 other schools, big schools, really big schools. So that was fantastic. But I have to say, when you go to Culver's after, I mean, there's nothing beats Culver's, but seeing 4th and 5th graders having a great time together after a math meet and talking math and bonding was priceless. So it was a great experience.
So we'll be gentle, right?
Nope.
Nope, all right. So, hey, Math team, Math 24 team, come on out. Get you organized.
Do you want them to play here or over at their
I think we can come to them maybe, huh?
Okay.
All right.
We'll get the...
So we'll kind of come to you. You got yours?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it just 4th and 5th, is it just 4th and 5th graders or 3rd, 4th and 5th?
So it's just 4th and 5th, but some 3rd grade teachers are practicing the single digit
So we set up 2
to get them ready for next year. And then,
Well, I just think it's, go ahead.
then hopefully we can get something going in middle school, because it goes then to variables and integers in middle school. 6th
I'm
and 7th.
excited to see this back because my boys did it. They absolutely
So
did.
if you're trying to figure out how to make groups of numbers to equal 24, this happens to be a nice little cheat sheet.
We get to cheat?
Combinations to make 24.
So if we go 2 here, so you just go 4s? What's that? Groups of 4s, and maybe
Yeah.
1 extra? Alex and Lucas, you want
We need Chloe's. Yeah.
Do you want 2 or 3? Who are you putting there?
4, like that?
We have, yep, and then 3
15 tries.
for the 4th graders here.
Yep, you 3 here, and then you 3 over there.
Okay.
That work?
Yep.
And then you ladies.
Yeah, you
They're
on the
three
cards,
team against us
there
too.
are 1
Is that how
dot
it is?
card,
Well,
2 dot cards, and 3 dot
Technically
cards.
it's single.
The idea that
Oh, it
the
is
1
single?
dots might be easier.
Could we do
2s
one
and
practice,
then
one
3 dots.
Sure.
So what this will look like is
Now explain the 1
someone
dot.
from this group
So the
flip
one
the
dot
card
is
over,
the
right?
easiest.
And we all get our
Okay.
fingers ready, and when we think
Now
about
it
the
is
answer,
a
what do we
little
do?
harder.
Okay.
And then 3 dot is,
Okay.
some of them are very easy, some of them are really hard.
Okay.
Well, we'll start with some 1 dots.
So we'll start with
So I'm gonna set this down. Now,
Here
There's no slapping of Maddie. Okay, good sportsmanship.
ready. We sit on our hands.
Yep, and if you say it wrong, you get a penalty cue, but we won't do a penalty.
So you just say like, oh, I got it, you say it?
So here, we'll do.
Yeah, that's what I didn't quite
All right,
understand.
so we'll have you three.
Yeah, you three do it.
Do, okay, so now. So what they do, we have to say the final fact first, and then that way as moderator I know, and then she'll start handing it, so go ahead. And then she would get the card.
There's no sign there. Worth 1 point.
Yep.
2 dots are worth 2 points. 7.
That was an easy one.
Yeah, that was easy.
Oh my God.
Okay,
I'm the best of the easy.
all right, ready? And then we'll move to two.
We do this all day, I'm never gonna get one.
I was going to do one.
This is a
Yeah, 13.
So could you do 16 plus 4? It would be
22 minus
24.
11.
You could easily too.
Don't you have it?
Doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but you gotta do it
No,
fast.
you gotta do it
You can't be that slow.
minus.
I just like watching. So what about when you were doing this like at a competition? You're all in a big group and then.
There's 4 people at a table.
Yep, and so we would get a smaller table, and then each would kind of have that corner.
Are kids pretty good about like respecting each other?
Oh, yeah,
When it's their
yeah.
turn?
Yeah.
Or like they mine's
So you just like leave your hand here and then you.
Can you just use it?
We're not gonna move
No,
our
you
hands.
have to use
Yeah,
more.
we'll
You have to use
pretend.
all
Yeah,
the
just
time.
try.
Oh, okay.
Oh, jeez, I wasn't even trying to do that. Okay, all right.
All right, now I'm gonna go into double digits.
Yes! 15 plus 9 equals 24. 23 minus 22 is 1. 10 minus 1 equals 9.
Maybe have it, but I need to add better.
2 fingers.
Not really. Half of that.
Okay, wait.
So some of the.
So you, when you do the double digit, you kind of split the digits up, or no?
All right, last card, last card of the television game. So last card of the television game.
Yes.
And then times 2 is 32 minus that.
Last card.
They're 2 fingers.
I should just put it on there. Yeah, that's what I know.
4 times 4.
I finally have one.
Wait, you did it? Okay.
I got it before I did.
It doesn't matter. Add 4 times 4 is 16.
I got it.
34 minus 10 is 20 minus 11.
Very good, okay.
No, you guys.
Any questions you got for them?
See why they're champions.
Oh my God.
All right, let's
So
go.
if you just practice them a lot to like do you memorize?
And then I finally figured out.
Oh, I've seen that number before, and it's like, I'm gonna see
Really? Consider it single digits.
that one's like
So these fifth graders, did it last year in the single digit, and then
So when you're eating breakfast in the morning, you might use
cards over the summer.
cereal.
And some of the
Job,
things
you
are
guys.
not gonna go
That is
through.
amazing.
Thank you for showing me.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Well, my, thank you.
Thank you for the
We're gonna do
opportunity.
it next school board.
Yeah, there we go.
Training, so we can practice. You guys, that was awesome. That was really impressive.
Thank you guys.
Just want everyone.
You're gonna meet me right here. And then we'll do a round of applause, and then we're gonna get you on your way.
We got 0.
Team F-24 team, Alex, Alexander, Lucas.
All right.
With a picture board.
Yep, behind the board. Behind the board? You want them to come behind?
Yeah, there you go.
This one gave me the
Over there.
picture.
Okay. Come on over, you get your picture.
Thank you again.
You guys come for a picture with them?
It was hilarious.
It's not in there.
Yeah, you guys should be in there.
Chris?
If you can see my camera, I can see your face. So,
Mr. McNeil and Mrs. Castro are coming in.
Yes,
oh yeah.
for sure.
Ryan was making. Oh, this is great. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Got it. Nice shot.
Great job, team.
Better buy the deck of dice.
Thank you, parents.
I did practice too.
Thank you. You guys are free to go. Get some rest for tomorrow.
Nice job.
Good job, everyone.
It was amazing.
You were lucky you missed that.
Like, they can take it on the road, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
We're gonna start a meeting, right?
Yeah.
Really get our brain working.
All right. Consent agenda items. We have our minutes. We have our vouchers. We have fundraiser request, Culver's, mentioned again. I feel like we should probably get some money from Culver's tonight. We keep mentioning them.
When is the Culver's fundraiser?
Tomorrow
Where at?
at Culver's in
Yeah.
Waukee. Okay, thank you. I didn't have it open.
What
5 to
time?
8.
5 to 8 o'clock?
5 to 8.
5 to 8, okay. Thank you.
Culver's, 5 to 8 tomorrow. Tax day. Everybody go eat at Culver's.
Which Culver's?
Wanakee.
5 to 8.
5 to 8
I feel like I'm
for our
back in
PTO.
classroom.
Okay, so, no fundraiser reports. We have, 2 field trip requests from our wrestling team. We have some committee recommendations for approval for our facility and finance. We have our student Chromebook purchase, applied population study, Lodi High School roof bid, and our personnel committee is support staff starting pay, base salary and co-curricular base increase, and, AA compensation. Under other, we have our winter sports season summary, and we have a Wednesday evening request. We do not have any retirements. We have 4 resignations, 2 assistant football coaches, volunteer assistant middle school track coach, and a volunteer softball coach. For co-curricular, we have an assistant track coach, assistant golf coach at 60%, assistant golf coach, and then a head middle school and high school wrestling coach. Under crew, we have a volunteer. Regular staff, we have elementary educational assistant, middle school special education assistant, long-term sub, and an IT youth apprentice. Under personnel, we have 6 leave without pay request.
So I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the addition of the approval of the resignation of Jason Murray as assistant football coach.
I'll second.
Motion by Sarah Rip, second by Adam. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Oh, sorry, Sarah. Anyone opposed?
Good.
I'm going to abstain from this, and motion passes 5-0. Yes. Okay, I was like, wait, did I count right?
Yep.
All right. And now we have our administrative reports. We will start with student services.
Hi, thanks, Heather. Let's start by recognizing our amazing building principals and their participation in our last poster of our poster campaign. They helped us promote skin health, sun safety, and the importance of protecting your skin throughout the spring and summer months.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Is that, Joe, did you tight roll your jeans? Just wondering.
I do hang out with a lot of teenagers.
You hung those up. You hung those up, and students stopped and went, "Wait a minute, what is that on the wall?"
Yeah, I'm not too proud.
I like it, I like it. It's good, it's a good look, it's a good look. Okay, sorry.
To go along with that skin health awareness, the Wellness Committee brought free skin cancer screenings to staff in partnership with Dean Health. And they have 56 appointments being offered through all of the Wednesdays in April. Next, I'd like to give you an update on Project Search. We have 1 student who's attending Project Search this school year. This is part of the Transition Readiness Grant, and we're in a consortium this year with the Sauk Prairie School District. Our student has completed 2 rotations in the area of maintenance and environmental services, and they're in their 3rd rotation right now in the emergency room department, and they'll be graduating in early June.
That's awesome.
Finally, I'd like to thank Janelle Sivum for arranging and completing vision and hearing screenings for our students. Janelle completed 167 hearing screenings for students in grades 4K and first grade. She also helped coordinate with Dean Peel from the Lions Club, who completed 375 vision screenings for students in grades 4K, 1st, 3rd, and 5th. So these screenings led to 17 recommendations for families to seek further follow-up from their medical provider. So thanks to Janelle for her leadership with this.
Thank you for doing that. Primary school.
Yes, good evening. So I did highlight thank you, Adria, for highlighting about Janelle, so appreciate all of her work she did on that. For Pillar 1, we have completed our reading readiness screeners. We did that 2 weeks ago, and then we're working on diagnostics, and this week are gonna be sharing out with families those results on Wednesday, and then having the new reading plans of support, the personalized reading plans for those families starting Wednesday. So that was a big lift for our staff and a lot of celebrations that are in place and some great things we're putting next steps for our students moving forward. For Pillar 2, I just wanted to highlight the SEL extension lessons, that this is something that came from our PPG group last year. And this is just a continuation of the SEL lessons that our school counselors are doing in their classes, but it's something that the kids can do to just reiterate those skills, or the teachers can do with those students. So this is just some sample things of some activities that they can do in that morning meeting time there. And you can see for kindergarten, they were talking about personal space, first grade was power of words, and second grade is happiness. So, Mrs. Bilkey would teach a lesson and that, with her SEL lesson, and then the teachers, once in the 6-day cycle, will do it a continuation lesson, just to, like I said, really make sure that transfer of skills is going across the different environments. And then I'll just do for Pillar 4, district workforce. We had March Madness, and we had a cornhole tournament. And we had, great time being able to participate in that. We did our final competition was actually at our family gathering, so the whole school came together, and we did have Mr. Sagami and Mrs. Fazinski were the winners of that. I will say that Mr. Sagami brought his own cornhole target, so we will next year have to kind of change that, I think. Yes. And I do apologize, Mr. Breinig, I was a substitute for 2 different people, and I may have hit the lights twice at the primary school because I am not very good at cornholes, but we got it fixed, so. I didn't break it, but I definitely not good at this.
The lights.
Twice, I know, twice.
Way up lights.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Elementary OSC.
Hello, thank you. First of all, after Mrs. Fossbender shared about reading readiness screener, I want to make sure that I also let you know that normally we try to keep things consistent, and but the difference during the springtime with some of those timelines is really the fact that we also have forward testing at our level. So ours are coming just a little bit behind the primary school. So speaking of forward, I have some information there for you about all that we do and all staff have to do. As I was reflecting on what to share, forward's a big part of what we're doing right now. As you heard students, as they were saying, yeah, we gotta go do forward testing tomorrow. But the staff also do a lot. And so I listed some of the things that are just part of what we do every year in preparation for forward, just so you could see all that entails. And then if you have questions, so let me know. Also, we do help students understand that, yes, we want to take everything we do seriously, and we want you to always do your best. And yet, at the same time, we know that the forward exam does not assess everything that you are. And so we help students understand that. We did have a kickoff back to school after spring break assembly. And so I shared some of the things that entailed. Had some former students from Sauk Prairie who are in the music world come and help me out with a song. And they helped the students learn the chorus and then perform that. The big kind of theme of it was you can't have the highs without the lows. And so we understand that there are great moments in our day or in our lives, but there's also hard moments, and that we get through that together. And the way that we do that is by making sure that we have a safe, collaborative, and real learning environment. And then the other thing I wanted to highlight for you before some social media posts is just also what is happening with interviews. So we have some open positions. So we are, thank you for the music interview team, as we just kind of are working on finishing up that process with the primary school as well, an OSC music teacher hiring. and then also going into our third grade teacher opening as well. So a lot of people spending some extra time helping with on interview committees. Then I wanted to highlight the post on the top right is from the assembly that we had. On the left there is Monica came and shared about engineering and really encouraged students. She was really excited to see how that transfers to her work as an engineer as well. Fine Arts Night, if you missed it, I'm sorry, because it was a great night. It was a lot of fun. This is just a little bit of the glow-in-the-dark art that happened in the little theater. Thanks to Ms. Nimmo and Mrs. Saig and Mrs. Roberts for all their work, along with staff. And then, obviously, we still are promoting kindness. And so these are some students who were recognized for caught being kind recently.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Middle school.
All right, good evening, board. First thing I want to do is congratulate our middle school forensics team. We have awesome speakers in our forensics program. We had 38 different kids that were a part of this program. And middle school is a hard time sometimes because you're super self-conscious kind of as you are middle schoolers. So I'm really proud of all these kids being willing to stand up and speak in front of people, which is hard for adults in general. So congratulations to those students. We are also, as Eric mentioned, we are in the middle of forward exam season this week. We are working, all 6th and through 8th graders are working through their math tests. Our 8th graders will work on social studies tests. I want to be a big shout out for Pete Franklin, Elise Kearney, Nick Franciscovich, and really all of our staff that create such a great environment for our kids, make it a positive experience for them. And just as like a little side note, we go through about 2,400 Jolly Ranchers because every time a kid takes a test, we like to honor them and say like, you know, yep, we realize you're working hard, here's a Jolly Rancher. So it's about 2,400 for that. Nurturing the Whole Child, we want to recognize the students of the month for February who are recognized for their initiative. These students are willing to take on challenges with enthusiasm and determination, and they serve as a model for their peers at Lodi Middle School. Our DC trip happened last month. It says 454 students. It should say 45 students. Wow. We get a lot of buses on the way up there. But we had 45 students that left on, I think it was March 8th at 5 a.m., which is a Saturday. They take off and then they spend the week, the day traveling out there and spend an awesome week out there. Really learning a ton about our nation's history, but really building, memories together. It's a really great opportunity for these kids. I was able to go last year, and it's really just a special time for them. And then they come back the next Friday night, and they get to sleep for 2 days straight because they're exhausted because it is go, go, go. I want to thank all the chaperones for that. Amy Christensen is our leader in setting up the DC trip. She does an amazing job working with World Strides to get everything organized so that trip just feels flawless. Patrick Walsh, Matt Stone, and Carrie Barr also chaperone the trip this year, which makes it possible for our students. I also want to acknowledge 8th graders that don't go to DC. Our 8th grade team does an awesome job of really helping them create some memories. So they spend the week doing other activities. They went and took a tour of the state capitol. They went over to the high school and watched a movie. They had a bowling opportunity. They went out to the school forest and did a scavenger hunt. So they really just spent a great week together again, building relationships, and they're getting towards the end of their time in 8th grade. So it's a really special time for them as we move towards the spring. I want to talk about the 612, and I'm sure Joe will mention this. 612 band and choir concerts were amazing. And really it's such a great opportunity for our younger kids to see what is coming up, for them to see, as I sat in the choir concert, band's concerts, and just listen to the musicianship of the 6th graders and hear what it's going to sound like in 6 years, and just the amazing job our staff does in preparing them and continuing to grow them as they go through our school system is just amazing. So congratulations to Ashley Gilbronson and Angela Roberts for all of their work with our middle school programs. We really appreciate them. The last thing, kind of a fun day we do each year at Lodi Middle School is National Cereal Day, which is on March 7th. So we actually have cereal. We asked the community to bring in cereal for Reach Out Lodi, and this year we got 330 boxes of cereal. And then what we do is it culminates in lining up all the cereal boxes in the hallway and in one big domino, trying to go around the hallway as far as we can. So we did that on
Did it make
March
it all the way?
7th. What's
Did
that?
it make it all the way?
It is not. We need 540 to go all the way around. So it goes about a little over halfway around.
So next year's goal.
Next year's goal.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's really great. It's a great event for our kids. So a great event for the staff. So That's all for the middle school. Thank you.
Thanks, Derek. High school.
All right, thanks, Heather. First of all, the Germans are on their, well, they're not on their way, but they're gonna be coming here soon, to visit our high school. So we have 17 German guests, 15 students, and 2 staff members, that will be here. We're gonna open it up on Monday with a pep rally for all of them. With our tie exchange, we do kind of a formal ceremony, a welcome ceremony. With the Germans, we do a pep rally. So we're gonna be doing that. I wanted to thank all the families, you can see their names there, that'll be hosting. So if you've ever hosted for Thailand, for Costa Rica, for the German exchange, it's a lot. So I really appreciate all the families that are there. And then also Mike Myers and Mason Kittleson are 2 advisors for the exchange program, for the German exchange program. I did want to mention up top that there were some students that actually received some scholarships to travel to Germany. So you can see the 5 students that are listed there. This is through the GAP program, or the German-American Partnership Program. And again, Mason Kittleson and Mike Myers introduced this opportunity to our kids, and they took advantage of it. And we have 22 students that have applied to go to Germany in the fall. So our numbers came down pretty significantly after COVID, and they're starting to climb back. So that's nice to see. So that's the German exchange program.
Do you have a limit of how many can go?
Well, it depends on how many they can host. So they're sending 15.
Okay.
We're hoping they can host a few more. So yes,
Okay.
we will have a limit just based on the number of spaces that they have there for us.
Okay.
So we're hoping like 17 to 18 will be able to go.
Okay.
So. Next, I have the girls' soccer experience. I just wanted to mention this. So Joe Burkholz not only coaches soccer, but he gives his players opportunities that sometimes they might not get. And they went to a UW Madison and Madison Forward soccer game. And then they not only got to watch the game, but during halftime, they got to talk to the director of soccer operations, Keith Tymeyer, about what it's like to run a professional soccer team. So I think it's great that some of our coaches are giving our athletes not just opportunities on the field, but also different types of opportunities. So I appreciate Joe for that. Student recognitions, I know State Solo Ensemble and Forensics, I know Caleb's gonna mention something about that, so I did wanna mention State Visual Arts Classic. You can see the students that participated in that on April 4th, some really amazing, talented kids that were able to do that, so I appreciate Whitney Robarge and her leadership in that. And then you can go to the next page and you can see Students of the Month. I do want to mention one thing because I don't think Caleb will. As far as forensics, Caleb Rotzel, 4th place overall in radio news reporting at the state tournament, so congratulations, Caleb. Nice job. We don't have the results from this last weekend, so he might talk about that at UW. But I did want to mention there was one student, Ash Crowell, she was the tournament champion in impromptu speaking. She's a sophomore, so that was really impressive that we had a student that was the tournament champion. So you can see her picture there. You can see our Students of the Month, which we bring up. Also, we had a Friday Fun Day, which we like to do with PBIS activities, and gives kids an opportunity to do something, whatever they would like to do. Lots of different activities that we have on the Friday before spring break. Speaking of fun, pre-ACT secure testing is not, so the only thing I wanted to say about this is that with the ACT testing, with pre-ACT, with forward testing, I think Derek talked about it a little bit, Eric talked about it a little bit. It's a lot for our staff. Obviously, it's a lot for our students to have to test so much. But our staff, and especially the committee, you can see their names there. A lot of the same names that you hear at the middle school for helping support getting that ready for our students. So I really appreciate them for that. Also, we just took today the Youth Risk Behavior Survey, which is a survey that some of you are probably familiar with. We use the data to help our programming, to kind of see what our school culture is like. And just so you know, several weeks ago, parents were sent a form to fill out, giving them the option to opt out of this survey. So we did have some families that decided to opt out, which is fine, but we did take care of that survey today. That was our 3rd amended schedule in about a week. And so I really appreciate our teachers being flexible with our amended schedules based on some of the things that we've been doing. Next, Jumpstart Teen Teach and Program. So if you were lucky enough to watch Channel 3, I think it was about a week ago, Christy Paskey and Mitch Hauser took their financial literacy class over to the primary school, and they got to teach, their students got to teach the primary age school students. It was a great opportunity for them. They've done that the last couple of years, but it's also nice for them to reach out to media to get them there. To promote our schools just a little bit. So I appreciate Christy. I think Christy reached out to Channel 3 and they were there and able to do a feature on our kids, which was awesome. Spring play did happen this weekend. It was amazing. I went to it yesterday. I think one of the activities or one of the programs that we have that not a lot of people know about is our spring play. And every single time I go, I just laugh uncontrollably. I think they're always incredibly funny. The kids do a great job. And Eric Schmidt and Becky Rosema are two directors who had to take over in January, unfortunately, because of our last director was not able to be here. And they did an amazing job. They basically changed the play, they recasted it, and got it to the point where I thought it was really successful this weekend. So I really appreciate Eric and Becky. And that is the high school.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I think I know the answer, but the pre-ACT and the normal ACT, you can't do that all on the same day.
No, we would not have enough teachers to be able to
That's kind of what I
proctor
was
the
thinking,
tests.
but I just wanted to ask and. make
Yeah,
sure.
so ACT that day, we do offer an opportunity for 9th and 10th graders to come in and take the practice ACT, as you guys know.
Yeah.
And that's usually about 60 students that come in. So we're able to actually lump them in 2 big rooms to do the practice ACT. And then we have enough practice. Pre-ACT is the 9th and 10th graders, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
kind of
the
assumed,
main
but-
reason.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Yep, no problem.
Student report.
Thank you, Heather. So we'll start with the band and choir programs are very busy this month and next month. The week of May 3rd, we have 3 concerts in the high school PAC. Firstly, the middle school, which will be at 6:30 on May 3rd. The high school on May 8th at 7, and then the primary school on May 9th throughout the day. And in my board report are times for the primary school concerts. And then stage solo and ensemble, as Mr. Haft mentioned earlier, on April 26th, qualifying student events will travel to UW Whitewater for the WSMA Stage Solo and Ensemble Festival. And we've seen, as a board, Vocal Jazz and Breakfast Club, and then just our Woodwind Ensemble, which are just a pie slice of what is actually going. So I don't know the exact number, but we have a high number of students traveling, which is awesome, and we encourage it. Yeah. And then Sing and Swing. So the Music Boosters will be holding their annual Sing and Swing music fundraiser on May 17th in the high school PAC at 7 p.m. And as this is a fundraiser, there'll be a $10 charge at the door for attendees. And donations will go to help the K-12 music program in various ways. They help out with money for scholarships, for music camps, and for opportunities such as that. And then for certain instruments that Mr. Haft requires. And yes,
Sorry, this says 6 p.m.?
6 p.m. Right, 6 p.m. Go off what is written, not what I say.
Just making sure.
Thank you.
Is Snakebite playing that night?
Snakebite is playing that night, yes.
Are they giving autographs afterwards?
I mean, if you really want one.
That's worth the price of admission right there.
Yep. And then traditions, so the prom court has been selected, as has the theme, which I don't think I put in here for some reason. But anyway, prom court. So the junior class nominated their prom court for the May 3rd dance. And congratulations to the following couples: Brody Ripp and Sophia Himes, Alex Breinig and Riley Wilcox, Everett Clemens and Madeline Weber, Haley Nolan and Bryce Galitsky, Madison McMorris and Michaela Burmester, and Chase Maas and Jennifer Schmidt.
What
And
is
then-
the theme? Do you know? Do you remember?
Correct me if I'm
It's
wrong,
The
it's
Great
Great Gatsby.
Ooh.
So like 1920s.
That's fun.
Ironic, because it's the 100th anniversary of that book.
It is.
I'm sure that's why they picked it, Caleb.
Right. Well, they're all reading it in AP Lang anyway, so.
That's true, that's true.
Speaking of AP Lang, in academic excellence, we have AP exams coming up in May, as if students don't have too much to do anyway. They'll be in full swing coming up soon, and this is something that I didn't know. Around 40% of the high school student body will take an AP exam in May, which I think is awesome.
That is really awesome.
And they're spread over 2 weeks like normal, and the schedule is there for those overachievers. And then, as Mr. Jellick mentioned, the forensic state tournaments. So we had great success at both of our state tournaments, both WFCA and WISDA. The WFCA, Lodi ranked 4th in the Division III rankings, and then 4 students placed and brought home plaques to show their achievements. Ash Crowell, who was the state champion in impromptu speaking, myself, Bentley Smith, who was 6th place in solo acting humorous, and Grant Byer, who was a semi-finalist in prose reading. And then
I
there's...
didn't know you did radio.
Yeah.
But I did.
Awesome.
And my brother. Got a lot of radio people in here.
And then, of course, a list of upcoming dates going all the way to the end of the school year.
That is a lot of dates. Thank you for doing that too.
Of course.
Because we don't always see those in the calendar unless you're really looking, so.
So Heather, solo ensemble, there are 60 students going in 31 different groups. So
Is that a record?
It might be, I'm not sure, but it's a lot of students.
That's really awesome.
Record for this year.
It's a record for this year.
Yeah. And that's state solo ensemble.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's,
Whitewater.
that's awesome. Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you.
Curriculum.
In each of the past board reports, I've indicated the various observations that I'm doing as part of the Educator Effectiveness series right now, and we're working our way up, and we're at the high school, so I've had the good fortune of visiting choir, band, math, social studies. This morning I was in math. And just wonderful things happening in every area, and it's great to highlight that and see some of the common themes, as I've noted on there. One of the neat observations that I did as well is I was in the gymnasium when they were using, for their dynamic warm-up, the heart rate monitors, which we invest in every year, and it was really neat to see the personalized coaching that the teacher was able to give the students. I'm not saying the students love wearing these, but just to indicate to a student, oh, you know, you're kind of going too fast, you're a little bit out of the zone you should actually be for the dynamic warm-up, or hey, you know, you could speed it up a little bit because maybe you're somebody who's an athlete and your heart is just at that rate where you need to kind of put in a little more
I'm
effort
sure that
to get
has
in that
changed gym classes
that
so
zone.
much.
It was
Back in our day,
really neat to see, and the teacher had a monitor, and every student was kind of color coded on there, and their color would change as they entered into a different zone, and it was just nice. It was neat to see that personalization to that component. So, as a number of our administrators already indicated, the hiring season is upon us. This is just a thank you. We have so many teachers that give up time, give up evenings with families to participate in those interviews. And so music at the primary and elementary school, 3rd grade, social studies is this week as well. And so a big thank you to those educators and to our administrators that do that. The next one is Advanced Learner Service Plan outline. So if you are able to look at our board policy in serving advanced learners or gifted and talented students, you'll see in there that one of the things that is noted is just having a written kind of general outline of services that we provide and some of the criteria that we have for engaging in those services, which it's in our board policy because that's also outlined by DPI, and so we're just trying to refine that document, and so this will be going to the curriculum committee of the board in May for us to take a look at the draft form, get feedback on. It's something that the administrative team has been looking at for the past couple months and refining, something that would live on our website. One thing you may not know, and I just wanted to highlight from our presentation earlier today, so for example, the Math 24 competition, that really is a service that we're able to access because we partner with the Dane County Advanced Learner Network. We also partner with the Columbia County Advanced Learner Network. Actually, that competition is from the Columbia County Advanced Learner Network. And so there are things like Math 24 that, yes, it's great for helping provide an opportunity for advanced learners, but we really open that up to all kids. So for example, with that event that occurred, we have more students than the ones that were just here who are participating in Math 24 within the building and giving up their recesses to participate in that and growing in their math fact skills. But then we house a little internal competition, and every student that would like to participate can participate. And if they kind of get on one of those top spots, well, then they can go into the regional competition. And so other things that happen through those opportunities are things like our script spelling bee, there's a writing contest, a math meet that we have coming up. Is that 2 weeks away? The math, we're hosting the regional math meets for 5th and 6th grade and 7th and 8th grade at the high school. And also there's some other things that those organizations provide as opportunities that we have not engaged in yet as a district, but that's on our radar. So there's some things in the arts, for example, that offer opportunities for students who show some development in those areas that we can take part in. So that's like our eye to the future is looking at some of those opportunities.
Nice.
And then what was my last one here? Oh, and then last was just, yep, you've heard it numerous times, state assessment season is upon us. As a board member, you're probably interested in seeing some of those results. As a reminder, we'll get those results internally far before you will ever be able to see them, because it's all that's under embargo, and so we're not able to release the details of that
Brag about it.
until, but I just want you to know, like, soon as we get those results, our internal teams, our teacher teams will be digging through that and thinking about the success and the things that contributed to that success, and then areas that we need to refine and bolster. Just a little sliver, and I think I can share this with you, our early junior ACT results came in, and one of the big things that we did this year was we switched, for the first time in Lodi, from a paper pencil format for the junior ACT to a computer-based version, and it's about, I would probably say, like 60-70% of the districts in the state of Wisconsin have switched over to the computer-based version. We were holdout, and part of the reason was we were really nervous about it for our math scores. Our math scores have been very high, and we like the idea of, you know, the paper pencil component of it. We did a review this summer. One of the things we knew is that we could do a little bit more focus on our writing portion of the ACT, and in conjunction with that, not just focusing on skills, but we've seen from other districts who have made the switch to the digital component, that the writing scores is boosted. Well, the early results are showing that the writing went up, and what we were nervous about was, we were nervous the math would go down, math went up too.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was a positive thing
Because I was
for
gonna
us to
say,
see.
my son went with, he really liked the writing, he didn't like the math online, but, I
That's
mean,
the same thing I heard.
yeah, but
So,
that's awesome,
just a little early snippet, that's what we're seeing coming in.
awesome. Thanks, Nick. And,
I'll read it, okay.
oh, okay, perfect, LCAT.
So, Brian Bilsey and LCAT has been trying and doing has been making an effort to make inroads into the middle school and to do things with the middle school life skill teacher, Brian Bauer. And so a couple things around here for that has come to fruition finally. So LCAT received some funding to purchase Botvin life skills books for the upcoming year's middle school life skill classes. Approximately $1,700 is spent on these books, funded by DPI, State Opioid Response Grant. And LCAT has successfully secured funding for this purpose over the past several years. And then the second one, LCAT collaborated with the middle school life skills teacher, Brian Bauer, to purchase approximately $300 of social skills instructional materials. The materials align with our board-approved learning objectives and teach essential life skills to promote independence, positive behavior, and peer connections. LCAT secured funding to purchase the requested materials through DPI's Instruction, Alcohol, and Other Drug Abuse Grant. And then LCAT received funding from the Department of Public Instruction through Alcohol and Other Drug Abuse Grant again.
Wow, they got a lot of funding, this is
No, there's
awesome.
even more funding in there. Funding was utilized to purchase snacks for students who met with guidance counselors. All snacks followed the USDA Smart Snack Guidelines in our wellness policy. And they purchased approximately $500 worth of snack items and split those among the 4 school buildings. LCAT received funding from, again, the State Opioid Response Grant to complete specific projects. And one of those projects was to purchase medication lock bags for each school building so they could safely secure students' medications during all field trips. Medication lock bags were distributed to each school building. And then Brian has taught the in-depth program one time to a middle school student. LCAT's sister coalition, the Prevention and Response Columbia County Park, has secured funding from the opioid abatement dollars that were allocated to Columbia County Board. The funding amounts of $100,000 per year for 2 years will be used to cover operating costs and complete various projects. And then LCAT is excited to announce a new partnership with Kinship Mentoring of Columbia County, which is a nonprofit organization similar to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And in the fall of 2025, Kinship Mentoring will launch a lunch buddy program here at Lodi Elementary OSC. So stay tuned for more information as that comes about.
That's great. Thanks for reading that, Adam.
Sure.
All right, our district administrator report.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit a couple highlights. The Rotary Club will be sponsoring the Outstanding Impact Awards ceremony, which is scheduled from a week from tonight. Congratulations to all the students and staff who are recognized at this event. As I always share with those in attendance that evening, the educators who are recognized that night really represent all educators within the district. So we have 14 students out of the class of 2025 who get to select an educator who has an outstanding impact on their life. But as we know, all of our students could select an outstanding person, an educator who's had an outstanding impact on their life. This is just the 14 who get to do it. So they represent a wide, all their colleagues at that. So really looking forward to that event. Again, that's a week from tonight. If you've driven out by the school forest, we have a school forest driveway. And then you'll drive by and go, that's it, right? That's what that much work is, just that's it. But now we can do logging. So the loggers, I think are planning on coming back here later spring or early summer, and they will be able to log it. So just a reminder, I sent out a lot of information last fall about logging and what that's going to look like. That's going to happen, but then they will also flatten out an area where that driveway is that I'll use for loading logs, and at some point we will turn that into a parking lot so we can pull off and do that. So trying to kill two birds with one stone with the loggers. And finally, a strategic plan refresh, which was approved at the last board meeting. The board has started that process by choosing 13 community members to serve on a strategic plan refresh steering committee. The first meeting of this committee will be on May 14th. Heather Byrne will serve as the board liaison, so thanks Heather for doing that. Thanks to Steve Neander, Rachel Whipperforth, Diana Carls, Sky Barron, Emily Tenbarge, Julie Wiesing, Heidi LaHue, Trent Schneider, Susan Gaethel, Pam Cunningham, Scott Burkett, Eric Bardwell, and Dave Poles for their willingness to serve our district on this committee.
Awesome, thanks, Vince. President report. I just want to thank the community for giving me the opportunity to be on the Lodi School Board for another term. I absolutely love being a part of this board, and I never could have imagined the emotions, the motivation, and the appreciation that I have felt since given this opportunity. I will be internally grateful for the people that pushed me, inspired me, motivated me, even if it was for disagreements to begin with, to put myself on the ballot. I am so appreciative of this community, the Lodi School District, and all the people that I've gotten to know through this journey. I'm ecstatic that I get to be living this dream for another 3 years. We'll be having our board reorganization meeting in a couple of weeks, so there is a possibility that this will be my last board president report. I just felt that this was an opportune moment to brag about our district and thank so many people for what they have done. As many of you may or may not know, I am a huge fan of our yearly school board convention that we get to attend in Milwaukee every January. Obviously, I love all the learning opportunities, different insights and ideas, but I think the main thing is the overwhelming feeling of pride and love I feel for our school district after attending the convention. Our district is offering so many opportunities for our students, constantly trying to connect and support our staff, being transparent with the community, and appreciating how supportive they are of our district. Not every district has that, and it breaks my heart. I'm also very appreciative of our school board. We have a very balanced board right now. We have 7 people that have very different views, opinions, and feelings about numerous subjects. Our mutual respect for each other and having the same united goal, what is best for our students, is what makes this board so sufficient. I feel that Lodi has proved that we can overcome differences, have insightful and respectful discussions, and work together for our kids. So I want to thank the community for putting us on this board together to make the best decisions for our district. We could have not had this balanced group working for you if it wasn't for you putting us here. I want to thank every single person that works and or volunteers their time to our district. Yes, that is a lot of people, many more than I ever knew of before being on the board. The time, energy, effort, support, selflessness, and love that all these people have for our students is absolutely astounding. It is such a beautiful thing to witness, and the gratefulness that I have for all of them makes me speechless. Yes, even me, speechless. Lodi is not perfect, but we strive to be. I can say with confidence that because of all the wonderful people in this community and district, we will not stop trying to always be the best. Lodi has the advantage of being a small-knit community while still being able to offer our students an amazing amount of experiences and opportunities. Our district's success is because of all of our employees, volunteers, parents, community members, and of course, our students. All of these factors depend on each other. You take one out of the equation, and we would be broken. Thank you, Lodi.
Thanks, Heather.
Yes, Heather. All right, our OSC Charter Approval.
Yeah, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Shinneman.
Well, thank you. So, just wanted to highlight a couple things. First of all, starting in November, we really formed a committee from the OSC board, and so in and then some other members as well. So we had Jen Morgan, our board president, governance board president, and then Angie Lathop also served on that committee, along with Nick Carls, myself, and then the OSC advisors. And we met 7 times from December till February, and well, I guess a little bit into March. And then Jen and I also met maybe a couple other times. But we then brought the new charter renewal document to the OSC board for approval, and then to the personnel committee for approval, and now we are here seeking full board approval.
And we had quite a long discussion in personnel about it, so
Yeah.
I feel confident in moving to, I guess, approving at the board level, a recommendation of approval of a 5-year charter school contract agreement between the Wisconsin School of Collaboration and the School District of Lodi.
I'll second that.
I have a question before we vote.
Okay,
you
one
remind me,
second,
does-
just wait 1 second
does
though.
DP
Sarah Ramish, wait 1 second. Motion by Adam, second by, who's taking it? Teresa. Okay, now more discussion, sorry.
Remind me again, does DPI have to approve the renewal?
No, we approve it. It happens at the board level, so it's an instrumentality, so the board has to approve this. DPI has oversight just like they would any other school, but we don't have to send this to DPI.
Anything else? You good? You guys, thank you for doing, that seemed like a lot of work. We looked over in the committee and there was a lot. So, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Any more discussion or questions or? All right, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, guys.
A lot of work, as you
Yes.
said, it was a lot of work, so
Yes.
thank you for taking the time. Thanks for
You guys
providing
have
that
done-
opportunity for our kids.
Yes, amazing work with everything with OSC. It's a great opportunity. All right, now the fun stuff. Compensation recommendations.
Yeah, so the Personnel Committee and Facility and Finance Committee of the Board have been reviewing different compensation options over the past few months. The committee is very cognizant of trying to keep our staff compensated competitively with area districts with a consumer price index was last year. In the past years, we've been trying to be competitive, but we also know that when we go back, that we also have to go back to referendum at some point. So it's trying to be competitive as we can be with staff and where we are with other districts, but also knowing that whatever we put in compensation, we have to balance those work. So that's the work they've been doing. The Personnel Committee started these discussions. They typically start looking at where the CPI is, and again, CPI was 2.95% last year. And then they look at costing at different levels of compensation as it plays out 1 year, next, how it impacts a 5-year financial projection for the district. So with the CPI being at a 2.95, the committee asked the administration to look at a 2.75% increase, a 3% increase, a 3.25% increase. The committee also just spent a lot of time looking at alternative ways to look at compensation. And so the last conversation we had with the Personnel Committee, they brought forward a lot of information but didn't make a recommendation to this board. So the board, has all those different levels to have a conversation about this one.
So the board has met many times in closed session over compensation, like you said, twice in personnel, once in finance, and then here tonight in closed session. And the motion that I want to make is a 3.5% compensation increase applied as a percentage for support staff.
You said,
3.25, that's what I wanted, yeah. And a 3% compensation increase for professional staff, no, a 3.25% compensation increase for professional staff, with the first $500 of the increase being applied for PPG completion, and the remainder of the compensation being applied as a percentage for staff salaries. And then a 3% compensation increase applied as a percentage on salary for directors, specialists, coordinators, and administrative staff, and a 2.9% compensation increase for district administrators. 2.95, thank you.
Second.
think Sarah seconded it.
Oh, she did. Okay, I was waiting.
I didn't
Sorry,
hear.
I did not hear
I
that.
think
I
so. Sarah,
apologize.
did you seconded that, right?
Yes, I did.
That's what I thought.
Can you just clarify those numbers one
Yeah.
time?
So
2.25.
Yes, so my understanding of the motion, this motion you have is 3.25% increase for support staff, a 3.25% increase for professional staff, with the first 500 going on for the PPG and the rest being applied as a percentage, a 3% increase for directors and administrators, and then a 2.95 for the district administrator. Is that correct? Okay.
Yep. I would, I mean, I think, well, I'm pretty sure all of us would love to give even higher percentage, but personally, I think I'm starting to lean towards more the 3%, just because we do have some upcoming cost. Not that I don't think anybody is not worth way more than that, but, that's just kind of my thought process, is we would do 3% across the board, and then 2.95 for our district administrator.
I thought we
But you have
just
a
had a
motion.
motion
I know,
already.
I'm just telling you.
okay,
Just
sorry.
telling you my thoughts.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, is any more discussion?
I'd like to stick with the motion.
Okay,
But
so,
that's just me.
yeah, no, we can vote. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion passes. I will say yes too, because I do want to give them more, but
So that was 6-0?
yeah, sorry, motion passes 6-0.
Loud and proud, Heather.
I know, I am.
Look what
I'm
you
so
did.
proud.
You're
I'm-
amazing.
I'm so
Good
proud
job.
of everybody, but
We appreciate all of you.
I really would appreciate not talking about compensation for at least,
A
like,
year.
well, yes,
About
a
a
year,
year.
but can we just not even mention that word, because I've been like going to sleep with that in my mind.
Yeah, so one of the things I didn't mention, I should have mentioned before, like, one of the difficulties this has had for the board is we're in a state budget season, right? So the big uncertainty is not knowing where the state budget's gonna fall, right? We know what the governor's proposal is gonna be. We don't know what the counter proposal is gonna be from the Joint Finance Committee. They're having hearings. I had a couple hearings, they'll have 2 more, and then they will come out with their budget. And so that brings a lot of uncertainty for us. But the other piece of it is for our staff, though, is like, later in this agenda, we're gonna talk about issuing contracts and letters of assurance. And it means a lot to our staff when they get the contract, and it shows how much they're going to be making next year versus to be determined. So it's a leap of faith by this board for what's going to come hopefully out of the state budget. And again, and then the uncertainty in the federal budget right now, or what's going on at the federal level, adds to that as well. So it's just, that's another reason why there's some angst, I think, across the board. It's just an unknown.
It's just money, but it's obviously
Right.
like,
Right.
we'd
But
love to do so much more.
I just want to remind people of that's the kind of the variables that we
Yeah.
didn't talk about before.
Well, if anybody would just get some money tree plants, we'd be fine, so. All right, where are we now? Employee health contribution.
Yeah, so the renewal for the current health insurance option has been presented to the district at a 9.9% increase. That was down from the initial estimate of 11.9, but 9.9 was plenty. Again, while we're happy it's not double digits, it faces us with a significant increase in the cost of district-wide health insurance, and the district has a flat rate for insurance. So if the district doesn't add anything more in, our employees bear the total cost of that contribution and premium cost. In April 2022, when the district went to referendum, the district included an annual increase to health insurance contribution of $50,000 for each year of the referendum. For this current year, the district added an additional $100,000 on top of that to make it a total of $150,000. The district also worked with our staff to create a second plan, a high deductible plan option for staff. With those additional contributions last year, the district contributed $8,500 towards the cost of a single plan and $18,825 towards the cost of a family health plan this current year. So again, if the district doesn't add any money, all the premium costs go to our staff. We had a long conversation about this in our personnel committee on April 3rd, and they unanimously moved to the full board recommendation of approving $100,000 towards the cost of employee health insurance, so $50,000 from the referendum and $50,000 from our budget. We were able to discuss some things that are happening in our budget that would free up, should free up $50,000 to make that possible. And so we were able to say, you know, we could have that money because of some certain staffing things that are going on, and that's gonna free up a little over $50,000, so.
I move to approve contributing an additional $100,000 toward employee health insurance for the 2025-2026 school year.
I'll second.
Motion by Scott, second by Adam. Any more discussion?
Yes, I've got a question, Dr. Breinig, how is that divided? Is it divided equally between all the people that have the insurance, or how does that part work? I can't remember.
Yeah, so it's not divided equally. It is a single, let me double check, I wanna make sure I get the numbers right. The contribution will be $400 for a single plan and $850 towards a family plan if the district puts in $100,000. That still means some significant increases on premiums for our staff.
Right.
Yep. But it's also a significant increase for us.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good question.
We do not take these conversations lightly at all. All right, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 6-0. All right, consideration of contracts and letters of assurance.
Yeah, so the board needs to take action to approve professional exempt staff contracts and issue letters of assurance to support staff for the 25-26 school year.
An easy one.
I'll make a motion to.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I'll make a motion to approve issuing 2025-2026 contracts to district professional exempt staff and to approve issuing 2025-2026 school year letters of assurance to all district support staff employees.
Yeah, second.
Motion by Sarah Ramish, second by Adam. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Sorry, Sarah.
Good.
You're always a little delayed.
You're good.
I'm used to you answering quicker. All right, spring school board election. Oh, sorry, no, I passed a bunch of stuff. Just trying to
Just
get
excited
through
about
it.
that stuff.
Just- Yeah, right. Co-Curricular Code of Conduct Handbook.
Yeah, Mr. Marshall and Ms. Mefford submitted an updated co-curricular code for the 25-26 school year. It's been updated to reflect changes on many policies, and they met and had conversation about it. And so they submitted for approval, so it's up and ready for registration.
I didn't see any major changes, right?
There weren't any major changes.
Okay.
No, I didn't either. I was just surprised that the change for the college visits, as long as they're pre-approved, I thought that was always the case. I mean, I remember my
We wanted to emphasize that because we were dealing with some issues of it not, like parents not realizing that they had to pre-approve them, so.
Okay. Could you hear that?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yep, I got them.
Okay.
I was just curious about where you were replaced, home-based, private, or tribal schooling. Do we
I
have?
think there's a policy change because of
Neola policy?
Neola policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
We had
just
to update that number.
statewide?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because that had to get changed, the policy had to get changed because we changed,
To Neola.
we approved the handbooks before we enacted the, Neola policies last year, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
I thought for sure you were gonna recite the policy, because that's how crazy you are.
No,
about the policy.
I know. I do like that committee, though.
You do.
Good.
We might have a good chance of being elected to it again.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
I won't argue with that.
All right,
There'll be
any
a
more
lot of
discussion?
competition.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
Non-election.
Make a motion to approve the amended 25-26 co-curricular code of conduct.
A second.
Motion by Adam, second by Scott. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 6-0. I actually waited for Sarah this time to answer. Parent-student handbooks.
So kind of like the last item, it's that time of year where we're finishing up one school year in the midst of planning for a new one. Handbooks that are being presented for approval are one of the first steps in that preparation process. In their summaries, they're outlining any proposed changes. And again, we asked our administrators to do that this time of year, so they're up and ready for when we do online registration here in May.
I have a question just on it before we go to a motion. So I know like Caleb is listed, and no offense, Caleb, you're senior, right?
Correct.
So does he, I guess he won't be here next year, so won't this be outdated by then anyway?
Yeah, we can make those adjustments if we need. I think that as a district administrator, I can approve an adjustment. For example, if we would have had, the board election would have changed differently, then we've had that in the past where we've gone back in afterwards and changed the board members. It's not a really substantive change to the handbook that really needs board approval. So.
And then my other question is, I didn't read, I'll be honest, I didn't read the handbook like every single word. I really sort of, I know, I focused on the changes, but I just want to make sure, because coming from the policy committee, are we confident that where it says parent, because we've been really focused on parent/guardian in the policies, that it's listed that way in the handbook? Does it need to match up that way?
Yeah, I think most of the times it says parent guardian in the handbook.
I think so.
It's something they can review and look at again.
The only reason I'm asking, because I know we've come across that on just a couple occasions,
We have.
so, okay, that's all I got.
Joe, I don't like to pick on you, but why are your page numbers always wrong?
Because I don't know what happens in the formatting when it gets moved over to PDF. It does not look like that in the handbook, just so you know. The page numbers are all lined up correctly. I noticed that too. I'm not sure why that's the case.
It's the size.
We just want our parents to have a really difficult time reading the whole thing.
Just want to make sure they pay attention.
I noticed that too, and it just
You
doesn't
should
make
make a
sense.
10-question quiz for everybody. So
Yeah.
they can't click the box until they answer all 10 questions.
Heather, I ask that kind of stuff and comment on that all the time, like with the policies. It's because it's online, it lines up when it's online, but not when it's like printed out like that, I think.
I just like to pick on Joe too, but, okay.
I move to
And
approve
we
the
can do these,
25.
we can do these all together, right?
Correct.
Move to approve the 25-26 revisions and changes to the parent-student handbooks for Lodi High School, middle school, elementary OSC, and primary schools.
I'll second
I'll second. Or Sarah, go ahead.
Okay.
Just take a Sarah.
Pick Sarah.
Motion by
Take
Adam,
one.
second by Sarah Rip. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And then we have our building staff handbook.
Yeah, same thing. So the primary school and elementary OSC staff handbooks are ready to be approved as well.
You know what, sorry, we're gonna go back, but we don't have to re-vote or anything, I'm just curious. I noticed which school was it? Maybe all of them. The bullying and the, harassment, that was like a big, was that just not in there before? I guess?
There was mention
Just-
of it, but yeah,
Now
it's
it's
much
more-
more detailed.
Okay, that was probably pretty good, thank you guys for doing that, because I know that's always a big issue, especially lately, so. Okay, sorry, back to the staff handbooks though.
So I'll move to approve primary school and LES OSC staff handbooks as presented.
Motion, okay, motion by Adam, second by Teresa. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Now we're doing the spring school board election.
Yeah, congratulations to Heather and Scott for winning re-election to the school board on April 1st. The district always appreciates their willingness to serve their student, staff, and school community. And a big thank you to Michael Heinderich, who ran but was not voted on the board, again, for his willingness to serve. We always appreciate people willing to serve their community. The board will hold their reorganizational meeting, as Heather mentioned before, on Monday, April 28th at 5:30. So congratulations, you two.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I was amazed when I went in to vote at the city of Lodi. The line was to the entrance, and I thought, wow, all this for a school board election. But I guess it was an important election.
But the school board was the most important.
It was.
So.
Well, in all seriousness, I know you said something during your president's message. I appreciate everybody that voted. I am humbled and I'm honored. I look forward to serving the district. I believe that the board is in a great place. I believe the district is in an excellent place. I look forward to continuing to help guide the district and do that with the cooperation of the community and work with the community as well. It's a partnership. So, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Well said, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, policy reviews.
Yeah, the policy committee met on April 3rd and reviewed and unanimously moved the full board recommendation of approval 2 policies and 3 administrative guidelines. So we recommend approval of those.
And if I'm not mistaken, these were, I mean, there weren't big changes to any of these, and I think there's a couple that we had to wait on.
Yeah, there
One
was
or two?
2 that we had missed in our Neola, move over to Neola, and then the administrative guidelines are dealing with field trips and medication forms that Adria and Janelle Sviam had revised to make it more clear for our parents and cut down a little bit on paperwork, combining 2 forms to 1 for our high schoolers.
Make a motion to approve the administrative guidelines and policy revisions as presented.
Can I actually ask a question about
Sure.
this before we do that?
I'll second.
Yeah, let's,
Okay.
let's get the motion on the table. Second, okay, motion by Adam, second by Scott. Any more discussion?
So I wondered, like, for example, under 5421, which is the grading system.
Right.
So the verbiage that's been removed, why is this removed?
Because we have it in all of our other policies, this is not our updated verbiage.
Okay,
And
I
so
just-
we have it in
okay.
all the, a bunch
It's
of other
elsewhere.
policies, yeah.
Okay.
And so the recommendation from Neola was just to take it out because it's redundant, it's throughout our other policy manual.
I think I asked the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Good question.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And we got gifts and donations.
I'll make a motion to accept with great gratitude the donation of $1,200 from the Ice Age Trail Alliance to be distributed between Summer Saunters, great program, Primary School Hiking Club, another great program, and Middle School Trail Trekkers, another great program, and the High School Hiking Club, another great program.
I'll second.
Motion by Adam, second by Sarah Ramish. Any more discussion? Except thank you, thank you, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 6-0. We got our committee reports. We will start with our CISA 5 representative, Adam.
CISA 5, yes, I went to CISA 5. What did we talk about? Sorry. We finalized Jeremy's contract. That was a big chunk of the meeting, and then we did the regular business stuff. We didn't have any special guests or anything like that. He talked about their superintendent's meeting, but that was about it. There was no
They
special.
talk about our superintendent? Or no?
Yeah. No, I
He was
talked
at the
about it.
meeting.
There was no big presentation or anything.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing that, though. Our co-curricular items and report.
All right, golf. On Thursday, April 10th, the varsity golf team hosted the conference mini-meet at the Lodi Golf Club. Lodi came in second, finishing 10 strokes behind first place Cambridge. The varsity team will travel to Trappers Turn for an invitational today, which Heather updated me, and our kids played in, and my son did well.
He did?
He's gonna be a happy camper.
EC was the golf for the best score on Lodi.
Woo-hoo. Lacrosse. The co-op lacrosse team is off to a 0-2 start, losing both games to conference opponents. They started the season with a 4-14 loss to Wanakee, followed by a 12-0 loss to DeForest. Forensics. On April 5th, the forensics team participated in the WFCA state tournament. The team took 4th place overall, with senior Bentley Smith taking 6th place in solo humorous acting, senior Caleb Rotzel taking 4th place in radio news reporting, and sophomore Ash Crowell taking home 1st place in impromptu speaking. Amazing. This past weekend, the team participated in the WISDAA State Festival with 17 performances, earning gold. That's really good. Play. This past weekend, Lodi High School students put on a performance of The Day the Internet Died. The performance featured 25 students between the cast and crew and was met with rave reviews. Baseball. The Lodi baseball team is off to a 2-1 start with a conference record of 1-1. They opened the season with a 13-9 win over McFarland, followed by a 7-5 win at home over Lakeside Lutheran. This past Thursday, they lost to Lakeside 0-6. They head to Westfield tonight and to Wisconsin Heights on Thursday. Softball. The softball team is off to a 2-0 start with both wins coming against conference opponents. They opened the season with a 2-1 win over Lake Mills, followed by a 5-0 win at home over Columbus. They host Sauk Prairie for a non-conference game tonight before returning to conference play against Lakeside Lutheran on Tuesday and Poinet on Thursday. Girls soccer. The Lodi girls soccer team is currently 3-0. They opened their season with a 1-0 win over Reedsburg, followed by a 7-2 win over East Troy and an 8-0 win over Cambridge Deerfield Waterloo. The soccer team will host Adams Friendship on Thursday and Madison La Follette next Monday before opening conference play at home against Lakeside Lutheran next Tuesday. Track and field. On Tuesday, April 5th, the track team participated in the Wisconsin State Indoor Track and Field Championships. Senior Olivia Hayroth placed 6th in the girls' high jump. This past Tuesday, the track team participated in the Deerfield early season quad with both the boys and girls teams finishing in first place. Lodi will host the Lodi Invitational tomorrow night. That's a lot of activity.
Whew. Thank you for doing all that, reading it. OSC.
Okay, it's brief, but lots of exciting things happened in the month of March. And I guess, first of all, the big thing that happened tonight was that the charter was approved unanimously for the next 5 years, so that's very exciting. March 20th was Fine Arts Night, and along with that was the annual raffle. It was a paperless event, which I don't know if that, I wasn't able to go. Was that bad?
Yeah, I think we offered if people wanted a paper copy, we could, but
Yeah.
I think the feedback was most people did not request that, so
Okay.
I think they were pretty happy with it.
So you're talking paper tickets, gone.
Yeah, paper programs, we had a lot of, normally like to go through the Fine Arts Night, a lot of times we have a map, we have a program, we did all that through S'more and QR codes.
Yeah, I guess I never, because I just went as an aunt, you know, and I didn't even think about that. So yeah, that's probably a good idea and save some money and trees and yeah.
March 21st, the OSC lottery took place, which was exciting. We haven't needed one for a few years, and there were 41 applicants for 34 spots. So I don't know if have the people been notified and okay. So that happened. What else did I want to mention? Well, the next meeting is this Wednesday, April 16th at 3:15. And the other thing is actually a question for Eric is, what are the updates on the jelly?
Great, I was just gonna tell you, so May
Because
8th.
I don't have that, so.
May 8th is Project Night, and the jelly will be sold at Project Night, so come to Project Night, May 8th, to get your OSC lemonade jelly. And I have sampled it, and it's delicious.
I have two, it's delicious. Tastes
So-
just like the OSC lemonade, it's amazing.
So forget the project night, just go get the jelly? That's what
Well, I
you're
think
saying?
you should do both.
What'd you say, Sarah?
No, I was just wondering, it kind of broke out, what is the date for Fine Arts Night? I want to make sure I get to that.
Project Night is May 8th.
At what time?
Thank you.
It is at,
Starts at 5, doesn't it, usually?
I think so, 5. It is, that's my time is longer than yours. So I think I will have to get back, I will find out and tell you in just a
I
second.
think it's 5 to 7. It's usually.
I think 5 to 7.
Awesome, thank you. All right, our board committee reports. We will start with personnel.
Personnel Committee met on April 3rd. The majority of the time was spent discussing issues that we've already acted upon tonight, including insurance renewal and compensation.
No, you were not supposed to say that word for a while.
I said it. There were a few other things that were discussed. We reviewed the staff engagement session where members of the committee were updated on what was said, members that weren't there. It's always good information to get. It helps to guide us in the decisions that we make. We talked about base pay, which per referendum increased by $1,000. Support staff starting pay, we're fortunate enough to be able to make an increase in that, which will begin in the summer, 50 cents an hour. We looked at substitute teacher pay, and what we did was we looked at fence post neighbors. We looked at loyal subs in Lodi versus the potential of using an agency. We're gonna look for some further information before we make any final decision regarding how we proceed with substitute teacher pay. And then again, the insurance renewal, $50,000 per referendum, and then we were able to brainstorm and come up with an additional $50,000 that we could put towards that, which we agreed to tonight, and then that other issue that Heather won't let me mention.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about.
I still have a headache right now. Thank you. Curriculum, which is Terry, isn't it? Does anybody wanna
I
brief?
can give an update if you want. So just a few things that we discussed. We had our World Language Department update, where Jim McKellar gave an update on the Spanish exchange program, CAP enrollment, which is Spanish 5, our dual enrollment with UW Oshkosh, and was excited that right now it's looking like there'll be 19 students in that class next year, which will be the highest enrollment we've had so far in the 3 years that we've offered it.
Yes,
As a
it is.
just a reminder that students, if they earn a B or above in that course, that they can earn up to 16 retro college credits in the course. So it's just a wonderful opportunity. We talked about expansion hopes, heritage speaker class, and like I said, the CAP update. We had an update from Jen Morgan, our ESL specialist in the district, just enrollment numbers. We do this annually. 11 students currently at the primary school, 9 at the elementary, 5 at the middle, and 19 at the high school. She talked about.
Can you read off the different languages though? It's not just Spanish.
Correct, there's 5 different, wait, hold on, let me get back
It's
to
right
my
here,
notes.
language diversity.
Oh, there it
Spanish,
is,
Hmong.
yeah, 6 different, did you wanna, 6 different home languages, including like Spanish, Hmong, Mandarin, Albanian, etc., spoken in the school district of Lodi. And then it just talks about the support and approach for Jen and her position, what that looks like, and some new structures that we are, as we've had this position in the district, we're continually looking at how she can continue to collaborate with our teachers and our building principals as she tries to meet the needs across 4 buildings, which can be challenging, right? So every year she gives an annual update. And then the OSC update, which a lot of the information focused around what you have recently shared. And we had our 6th grade social studies pilot, TCI resources is happening right now, and so we received an update on that, and we'll discuss that in further depth for a possible adoption proposal at our next meeting. And that was it.
Awesome, thanks, Nick.
I just have a quick question. What was the 5th language that was mentioned? The last one?
There's actually 6, I think. Spanish, Hmong, I don't know what this is. Gujarati, Mandarin, Albanian, and Yoruba.
Those, okay. And then what happens with because Jen is for Spanish speaking, correct? I mean, what happens with the other languages? Is there a service that we use, like?
So Jen supports across the spectrum. Her skill set does rely, when it comes to just translation services and being her speaking ability is in Spanish. However, she does have a number of resources she uses to help in these other areas. We do, as a district, also partner with a phone service where we are able to have access to pretty much any language that someone would come in and want to speak to one of our teachers or our front office. It's called AccuTrans. So that's another service that we have access to as a district.
Okay, yeah, that's what I kind of thought, because that's what we use in the nursing home. If it's, you know, a language that we can't translate, it's a service that we use by phone.
Yes, yep, and so we have that similar service for that in, certain situations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Facility and finance.
Let's take it back to students. The SAPS Club came in and talked to facility and finance. So Katie Schilling and Emily Tenbarge gave a presentation on their issue that they have on the bathroom doors that open at the high school, according to them incorrectly, and the relative changes that individuals experience entering the toilet area in that space. Katie and Emily went on to present to the committee potential solutions, that's where they're at in that space, to allow for more space to enter the bathroom area and the costs of those solutions. The committee went on to engage in a discussion of the current bathroom doors, how they're utilized, the safety concerns, and the cost of making those changes. And then administration will engage in maintenance department to look at exploring potential bids to resolve the issue. We talked about student Chromebook purchases, which was in consent agenda. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then we talked about running the fiber. Because Sauk Street is under construction, there's a chance we could change our fiber that runs from the other buildings down to this building. And right now it goes over the railroad instead of under the railroad.
Which just blew my mind.
It's a nightmare. But there's a chance that we could do something else, and so that was a discussion. We didn't make any decisions on that. The applied population study, we had a long discussion about that, which we approved in consent agenda. We're still doing communication, we're still having discussions, not communication, discussion on batting cages and figuring out how to add more batting cages and figuring out how to pay for those batting cages. And then we figured out how to recognize someone who made a donation to the playground at the LES OSC.
Oh, nice. All right. Thank you. Policy.
Policy, we went through them all.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. And let's see. Our future meetings. So our next regular school board meeting will be Monday, May 12th at 5:30 closed session, 6:30 open session. Our reorganization meeting is going to be Monday, April 28th at 5:30. Our personnel committee, all of our committee meetings will actually be determined after after the reorganization meeting, okay?
Okay, so we don't have any.
It's nothing scheduled at this point, because then we'll kind of, once we figure out who's on the committee, then we'll figure out when people can meet. So.
We need to go back into closed session.
No, yeah, so there's no.
Wait, is there a meeting tomorrow?
There are no
Yes.
committee meetings until after the reorganization meeting.
Okay, so
So
nothing
typically, we
tomorrow.
we have the first ones in the beginning of April, but because personnel will have had a meet to talk about compensation. But because you just don't know what's gonna happen with the election, we typically don't have any in April because the board
Yeah.
reorganizes and brings their new members on, and you
Okay.
guys
Did we
redo your
have
committees.
something scheduled for tomorrow?
No.
Okay.
Well, I had mentioned
Wasn't
there
on
was
the
an OSC
calendar.
meeting Wednesday, but.
Oh, yes.
Does it-
OSC might have a meeting.
Yeah, OSC does on Wednesday,
is
right?
before me.
That still is happening.
Okay. All right. So next for us, guys, is April 28th. Be there.
Is it my time now?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Make a comment, sorry. The meeting, the reorganization starting at 5:30 on Monday, I cannot be here at 5:30. I tried letting my student, well, never mind. I was trying to be here on time, but they love class and they won't leave, so.
You're fantastic.
I can't.
Can we do?
I can meet later.
I mean,
We can change it to
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Tuesday now, or it's on Monday,
Monday.
not Tuesday.
Yeah,
on
Mo
Monday.
won't be
That's
here.
why. On Monday, not Tuesday.
Mo is not gonna be here.
We could do it at 6, we just need to let Terry Haig know who's going to join us virtually.
Okay. And
Sorry.
Mo is not gonna be here, so we will all have our hair on fire, running around crazy,
yeah.
not knowing what to do, but I guess we'll have to get through this.
We can do it
And
at
it's
6.
just us for the reorg
Yes.
meeting, right?
Right.
Nobody else has to come, okay.
Yeah.
Is 6 o'clock okay, or do you
Yeah.
need it later? Okay.
Plenty fine.
Is that gonna be okay with everyone else? We still have to tell Terry, make sure.
We'll let Terry, we'll have to
But
reach out to
everyone
Terry.
here, is 6 o'clock gonna be okay?
It's hard to be here at 5:30.
It's a
That
pretty
works for
quick
me.
meeting usually.
Terry did ahead of time say what her committee choices were and stuff, so in case she can't make it,
Okay,
we do have that
Okay.
information for her.
okay, okay.
If you guys don't mind.
Sure.
No, that's no problem.
Okay, is everybody good with 6? Okay. All right,
Thank
well,
you.
let's change that to 6 then for now, and then we'll make sure that Terry can
I
be
don't
there
wanna
too,
miss
but,
any.
yeah. Okay, and I don't think we have to go back to closed?
Then can I make a motion to adjourn?
Yes, you can.
Then I so move to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Sarah Ramish, second by Scott. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I don't think so. Motion passes 6-0. Adjourn. Thank you guys.
Thanks, everybody.